Lambda, ECS or Kubernetes. Everyone has an opinion, but choosing the wrong platform could cost you 1,000 times more and give you sleepless nights, right? So I have deployed hundreds of microservices across all these three different platforms. And today I will show you exactly how to choose the right platform for your product and for your requirement. I mean, you have a simple MVP and you end up choosing Kubernetes, right? It's overkill. You have a 100 microservices and you just choose the Lambda, which is not event driven. You have a huge amount of traffic. Then you might end up in the trouble. So we have three options: Lambda, ECS Fargate or Kubernetes. We already know Lambda is a pay per invocation. ECS Fargate, Docker based, no node management. You are using cluster. Kubernetes, full control and full complexity, right? If you are choosing Kubernetes, then you need to be ready for the complexity and maintenance. So these are the three platforms. Lambda, the function that runs only when it is triggered from API gateway, S3 or whatever the means the Lambda is attached to. ECS Fargate runs Docker images on AWS managed compute. It's like long-lived services. It's your runtime like per CPU and per GPU is the cost. Kubernetes, cluster orchestration with the maximum control, play for the platform teams. So let's talk about when to use Lambda, right? Lambdas are event driven. If you talk about AWS specific Lambdas, then they are event driven. They can be triggered through S3 upload, API gateway, SQS, event bridge or cron. These are short-lived tasks. Execution is capped for 15 minutes per execution. Typical use case for image processing, webhook, lightweight APIs, ETL and all, right? So everything has their own use cases. You cannot use Lambda, cannot be fit for each and everything. ECS Fargate, long running processes like web server, background worker, queues and consumers, they need to be up and running every time, not through event trigger. Like first time running a Node.js server as a Lambda, it's not up and running. When you invoke it from API gateway or from some event trigger, then only it will invoke your request. But same Node.js instance is running 24/7 on a particular VM. This is the different, right? Both are different use cases. So custom networking, typical use cases like web API, microservices, batch processing, you need ECS Fargate. Kubernetes, multi-cloud and hybrid. Some manifest on AWS, GCP or on-premises. You have a custom schedules like operator ERD. I mean, when you have complex workflows, when you have a complex team, large teams, ML pipelines, multi-tenant SaaS platform, complex service mesh, Istio, and a lot of things you are using, then obviously you can go for Kubernetes. Architecture patterns, like let's say if I simple compare a Lambda architecture pattern, there we have a simple API gateway, some kind of a trigger which is going to trigger your Lambda functions. It can deal with the DynamoDB, SQS, SNS, event, reach, step functions and all. That's it. It's like purely AWS managed. You don't need to worry much about your server up, down, downtime and all those things. I mean, ECS is also server managed, ALB, Fargate, task definitions, and then you can read and write to the RDS or DynamoDB. You just define a task definitions, images and scaling policy under a VPC. That's ECS Fargate, right? And then EKS, ingress, Istio, pod, services, load balancers, all these things you need to manage, nodes, networking and all. It's whole Kubernetes, right? So these are the different architecture pattern. If you talk about the cost, I mean, we are using Lambda and the cost is very much minimal because Lambda cost is per invocation. You can see the Fargate is $30 per month, EKS is 145, where Lambda, if you don't have much invocation, even if you have a huge number of invocations, it's not going to be impactful. If you can see 10 to 15 million requests, Lambda will cost you 420, Fargate 220 and all. When you have 100 million requests, then obviously you need to pay more in terms of Lambda. So the thing is, when you have a limited 1 million requests per month, which is not a big number, in that case, Lambda is obviously the cheapest option. Lambda wins. If you have a 10 to 15 million requests per month, Fargate, and for 100 million requests where you have like a bombardment of millions, you are writing a Netflix, Airbnb, then obviously you can go with the EKS, right? So this is the decision flow chart. Is your workload event driven? Because when some products are using event driven architecture, serverless framework, where you are using all the things around serverless, SQS, SNS, event bridge, S3, image, S3 triggers, SNS, SQS, event bridge, Lambda, API gateway. Everything is serverless. So it's like a event driven. Things are getting executed based on an event schedule. Event is coming from on the SNS, SQS, or being invoked through the API gateway. Then Lambda is getting executed. Yes, you go for Lambda. You don't need your service to be up and running for each and everything unless you don't have a request. Long running containers without owning a cluster, ECS forget. Here you don't manage the cluster because you just define cluster is AWS managed internally. It just give you the node where you define a task definitions and a containers. Multi-cloud 50 plus services, dedicated platform teams use Kubernetes. How the giants are choosing. Netflix EC2 and in-house container orchestrator, Uber is using Kubernetes, Airbnb Kubernetes. Also, Netflix also using Lambda for encoding triggers and S3 events, but that depends on the use cases. So how we are choosing the platform? It's not the hype that you need to identify your use case before choosing a platform, right? So this is a quick comparison. AWS Lambda, zero server management because I'm using Lambda since last 3-4 years. 5+ years. Pay for what you are invoking. ECS Fargate Docker containers AWS integrated, simpler than K8s. If you don't want a Kubernetes complexity, go with the ECS Fargate. Okay, Fargates are the type of node and ECS Elastic Container Service. Every cloud vendor has some kind of a container solution. So key features of AWS Lambda: serverless, pay-per-use, event-driven, fast to deploy. If I need to deploy 10 microservices, it's very easy. I can use AWS CDK and I can deploy 10 Lambdas in just 10 minutes. ECS, Elastic Container Service, where we just have a Docker image for your application. You can deploy it to the Docker containers. Fargate is serverless containers, no EC2 image to manage. That's a good thing with the Fargate coming into the picture. AWS integration with, if you are using AWS ECS, then you have deep integration with ALB, CloudWatch and all those things. So coming to the architecture of Lambda serverless, using is the client, users and clients accessing CDN, API gateway. Lambda has a multiple services. They are accessing SQS, SNS, S3, DynamoDB. Pros: zero servers, everything is serverless, event driven, fast deployment, pay-per-use. Cons: cold start. Obviously, when you are using Lambda, the cold start thing which gets added, because if your Lambda is idle and first request comes in, then Lambda will become hot. Lambda will prepare the runtime to execute the code and then it will. So there is just like a simple thing. But if you are not getting high amount of 50 million per month, then Lambda can be optimal. ECS Fargate clients, there is application load balancer, ECS cluster, and then you have a different task, Fargate task, order API, user API. They are deployed into different containers, different task definitions. They are accessing RDS, Redis, and you have ECR registry using which you are deploying your updating your task definitions with the new images. The architecture for Kubernetes: user clients, ingress controller, Nginx or ALB, service mesh you are using Istio, and then these are the pods. Pods are like the containers where you have a 3 pods replicas also for the managing the containers. Then you are accessing the Kafka, Redis, PostgreSQL, and a lot of other services. The only thing for the Kubernetes for the initial MVP or small teams, complex ops, steep learning curve, more overhead, right? So until unless you don't have a big traffic and big teams, don't go with the cluster or Kubernetes. So you can go for with the Kubernetes only when enterprise scale, 100+ services, multi-cloud strategy. You have a data platform, Kafka, Spark, Flink, and K8s. You have dedicated teams to manage all those things. ML AI platform, you are using Kubernetes, Kubeflow, MLflow, and all those things. This is the final comparison table. From there you will understand more. Server management, Lambda, none. Scaling, 0, because it's AWS managed. You can just increase the memory. You can just make it auto. Cost model per request, cold start is there. Maximum runtime, maximum Lambda can run up to 15 minutes. Typically, we just have a Lambda timeout of 2 to 3 minutes. Portability low because it's AWS only. Complexity, deployment very easy. GitOps, you can just use a CDK to deploy the Lambdas for services. ECS Fargate server management, none, because it's a AWS managed. We are not using EC2 nodes. Cost model per hour, cold start, there is no cold start because these are servers. Kubernetes, server management minimal, you need to scaling, you need to use all these things. Cost model is per hour, unlimited, multi-cloud support, learning curve steep because you need to learn and understand the concepts. Istio Linkerd you can use with this. kubectl dashboards for debugging, state management, PVC. Right, so this is a quick comparison of feature tables of all those things. I'm very much comfortable with the Lambda or Kubernetes. So this is the startup time, which sometimes worries me about the Lambda, but we can add a warm-up service or something which keeps pinging the Lambda and keep the Lambda warm. So Lambda cold start is sometimes 100 to 500 milliseconds, and then ECS forget 30 to 60 seconds because it's quick. It's not sleeping. Kubernetes port 32 millisecond. This time is for the task start. Once the task start, it is not going to stop. But Lambda always become cold, and then you need to heat it up with the request. So it's like one time for the ECS forget and a Kubernetes pod. If you talk about the cost model, it is very same. Lambda for the less number of requests, it's minimal. But when you are scaling with 100 million requests, obviously do not choose Lambda for it. You can see the billing is higher when you are choosing Lambda for 100 million requests per month. That's not an optimal case, right? So if you're choosing Lambda, then you might be using B2B, but if you're using end user facing where all the users on the planet can consume, then go with the Kubernetes cluster.